Welcome back. The big story today is the hearing that happened vis-a-vis the Places of Worship Act and whether the survey in Gyanvapi Mosque can be allowed. Is it violative of the Places of Worship Act? The Supreme Court refused to stay the survey and made observations about how the act does not stand in the way of determining the religious character of a place. Joining us now is Asaduddin Owaisi, Member of Parliament and Chief of the AIMIM, someone who has very stridently argued that the Places of Worship Act is being turned into tatters by such an appeal in the Gyanvapi case. So your first reaction to what the Supreme Court said? They have not bought into what you have been arguing.
Well, it is the Supreme Court which has decided, but let me tell you on record that the Muslim community is very apprehensive and they fear that the Babri Masjid history would be repeated. And they don't want to lose another masjid right in front of their eyes. So we hope that the Supreme Court, which has inherent powers in Article 142, will do complete justice. They will do justice. They have been doing justice. And the SLP is still with the Supreme Court, because what bitter lessons the Muslims have learned from Babri Masjid demolition is that it started with Chabutra, then surreptitiously idols were placed, then without listening to Muslim unlocking of gates, demolition happened, makeshift temple, then puja in makeshift temple, and finally the judgment came without even convicting anyone in the criminal act, which the Supreme Court called the demolition as a criminal act. No one was convicted, so that is why.
But sir, very respectfully, how are the two comparable? Because the Babri Masjid was not something that happened via court. This is a matter that is being tried from a civil judge in Varanasi all the way up till the Supreme Court, and it is the Supreme Court which has refused to stay the survey.
No, the Supreme Court has now shifted the trial from the lower court judge, because the Muslims have been arguing the lower court judge had, despite the objection from the Muslim side, had gone ahead with the survey, despite the Muslim side objecting to the appointment of one survey commissioner, he went ahead. Despite the Muslims being the party, he didn't even allow the report to be given to him, and without hearing the Muslim side, he issued an unfair order. So now that commissioner is not there, and this matter will be heard in a district court.
If I may very respectfully intervene, sir, this specific argument was made in court, and Justice Chandrachud underlined the fact that the matter was being transferred from the civil judge to a district judge. It is not an adverse comment on the civil judge. It is only because he wants somebody who is of a seniority to hear the matter. He underlined the fact that this is not an adverse comment on the conduct of the judge.
Exactly. So, junior and senior itself is a huge difference.
But that is not to say that the process so far was vitiated.
Please listen to me. That is why an esteemed anchor is interviewing Asaduddin Owaisi, not some new anchor is interviewing. So there's a difference between you interviewing me and a junior anchor interviewing someone else on prime time. But anyway, this matter has now gone to the district court. And we only hope that, that the Supreme Court and the courts of law will walk the talk, because the 91 Act has been elevated to the level of the basic structure of the Constitution. See, these are small wounds which should not be allowed to open again.
Exactly, sir.
If you read the statement or objects of 91 Act, it was said to prevent controversy. Now, we don't want, you see, as I told you in my initial remarks, the Babri Masjid lesson which tells me it starts with Chabutra, then idols are placed, then without me locks are opened. So it is very, very important.
But Mr. Owaisi,
that the nature of the masjid should not be changed.
Okay, can I again go back to the Places of Worship Act and underline the significance that you quoted in our last conversation, that it was Justice Chandrachud who referred to the Places of Worship Act in the Ram Janmabhoomi judgment, and the same Justice Chandrachud today has said, and I quote, "Ascertainment of religious character is not barred under Section 3 of the Places of Worship Act," which means that it can happen in Gyanvapi, and it can also similarly happen in other disputes if they are raised. Mathura is already in court right now. Tomorrow, there could be other disputes as well. And those disputes would be legitimate according to what the court has said today.
May I request you to please do not do contempt of court. I would earnestly request you that these are questions which are asked by honorable judges to the lawyers. And if an answer is given, an example is given, that intellectual question and answer between a judge and the lawyer cannot be taken to the level of observation, and an observation cannot be taken to the level of judgment. This is an intellectual dishonesty that is being shown on the part of media. And lastly, to answer more specifically,
may I? This wasn't
what
a
you have
question,
just
sir.
Said,
if I may just refer to the
please allow, madam, please
right,
allow me to complete.
Yes.
Please allow me to complete. Whatever you have said, has that been reflected in today's Supreme Court order? Please show it to me.
Sir, the order is not uploaded yet. These are exchanges yet. But if I may this wasn't a question and answer. This wasn't a question and answer. Here is what was argued. Here is what was argued. So just a second. If I may quote verbatim.
I do not agree with you.
Sir, I'm quoting verbatim. This wasn't a question and answer.
I do not agree with you because you can quote it because but you are twisting an intellectual exercise.
No, sir, I'm quoting verbatim.
The judges
so here is what, sir, here is what Mr. Ahmadi said, and I quote.
Are you trying to tell me?
Sir, here is what Mr. Ahmadi argued. He said that we want this to be disposed of. But Justice Chandrachud observed, application under Order 7, Rule 11 is pending before trial court. We can say let them dispose it off. How can we say let them dispose it off? They have filed it and they are entitled to be heard on it. So if there are Hindu applicants who've gone to Varanasi Court,
Madam,
Justice
please
Chandrachud
listen
said they
to me.
Yes, go on.
Can you listen to me? Oh my God. See, you have called me. If you sermonize and you don't ask a question, there is no point of calling me. Please listen to me that this is an intellectual exercise. You cannot elevate a question that was asked by the judges to the level of observation. You cannot elevate an observation to the level of judgment. And thirdly, I am pretty much sure that what you're saying will not be part of today's order or judgment of Supreme Court. Because what you are saying and what you're understanding will change the nature and character of the property. And that will go completely against the 91 Act. So these are intellectual exercises which normally every judge will do with a lawyer who's appearing before him. So, and moreover, what did he say? I will use that argument against the other side. So please understand that it is intellectual dishonesty on the part of the media to twist it.
Okay.
And I am pretty much sure that what you have just said right now will not be reflected in the final order. The final order is there on live law and bar and bench. Please read it.
Okay. Can I now actually quote to you from another order? Because in the last 2 days, there have been 2 courts who have opined on the Places of Worship Act. Today, it was the Supreme Court. Yesterday, it was the Allahabad High Court when they were hearing the matter related to a survey that was sought in Mathura. And I'm quoting from the Allahabad High Court, sir. And it says, with regard to entire property of Katra Keshav Dev, whether Sri Krishna Janmabhoomi Seva Sangh had the power to enter into compromise with Masjid Eidgah Trust is a matter of evidence that can be determined only on the basis of evidence adduced by both parties during trial. Hence, in light of discussions made above and the legal tenets of the mentioned question, this court is of the considered view that provisions in Places of Worship Act are not applicable. This is in the order, sir, of the Allahabad High Court, also saying that you cannot stop a survey, you cannot say a plea is not maintainable because the Places of Worship Act does not apply. This is an order.
May I respectfully submit to you, it's not Allahabad High Court. It is a district magistrate which has taken this decision. And please understand the background. In 1968, an agreement was done between the Muslims and the Janmasthanam Seva Sangh. The Muslim side had given land. On that, a magnificent temple had come up. Now, after agreeing to all the demands and agreement which was done, which was taken to the court, the Muslim side got the approval and consent of the Central Waqf Board of UP Waqf Board. After 53 years, after both the Muslims and Hindus have decided, you go to court now. That in itself is a violation of 1991 Act. And may I please tell you that is what I said, that the courts of law, especially lower courts, should nip it in its bud. The lower courts cannot go against the Supreme Court judgment, and the Supreme Court elevated 91 Act to the status of basic structure of the Constitution. How can the lower courts go against the Act of Parliament? That, respectfully, I submit, it is a wrong decision of the district court, and this will be challenged. This must be challenged in the Allahabad High Court by the Eidgah people. Okay,
you're absolutely right. It was bad on my part. It was a civil court in Mathura. But ओवैसी साहब, सवाल ये भी उठता है कि क्या अब यहाँ से प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट बाकी और मुद्दों पर भी अप्लाई किए जाएंगे? क्या ऐसी और अपील्स अब एडमिट हो सकती हैं? शायद जामा मस्जिद?
मैडम, मैं तो वो इसीलिए मैं आपसे इसी कहा था कि इनिशियल स्टेज में लोअर कोर्ट्स को इसको खत्म करने की जरूरत है। जामा मस्जिद की सीढ़ियों को तोड़ दो, हैं? अब आप बोलेंगे हाजी अली की दरगाह नहीं है, और ऐसे कई मस्जिदों को निकलेगा। और आज जो बीजेपी की तरफ से ज्ञानवापी मस्जिद के बारे में ये बोल रहे कि नहीं 91 का एक्ट अप्लाई नहीं होता, मैडम मैं रेस्पेक्टफुली आपसे कहूंगा, क्योंकि आप बहुत पढ़े लिखे हैं, आप पार्लियामेंट का डिबेट पढ़ लीजिए। जब 91 का एक्ट पास हो रहा था तो आपको कह रहा हूं, पैरा नंबर 684 टू 691, पैरा नंबर 684 टू 691 और 701 टू 719, उमा भारती ने सवाल किया था कि ज्ञानवापी मस्जिद का क्या होगा। वोटिंग हुई, बीजेपी हार गई और कानून बन गया। तो ज्ञानवापी इसमें शामिल है, मथुरा इसमें शामिल है। तो आज बीजेपी, देखिए, इसीलिए हम प्रधानमंत्री से ये अपील कर रहे हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री के ऊपर एक संवैधानिक जिम्मेदारी है, वो अपने इन तमाम आरएसएस के लोगों को, अपने आइडियोलॉजी जिनको शेयर करते हैं प्रधानमंत्री के साथ, उनको प्रधानमंत्री बुलाकर समझाएं, उनको रोक टोक लगाएं। आप इस देश को खुदा के लिए उस दौर में लेकर वापस मत जाइए, सियासी फायदा मत देखिए, देश के अमन को मजबूत करिए।
पर सर, लोगों को हक है ये कम से कम पता लगाने का कि अगर कोई शक है, अगर इतिहास में ये लिखा है कि क्या ये यहाँ मंदिर कभी होता था, तो कम से कम वो जाके कोर्ट में अर्जी लगा सकते हैं। और आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा हाँ, आपको ये हक है कि आप स्टडी कराएं और पता कराएं क्या कभी यहाँ मंदिर हुआ करता था, और कोई भी एक्ट किसी को नहीं रोकता।
नहीं, आप फिर से आप गलत कह रहे हैं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने नहीं कहा कि आप जाकर एसेटन करवाइए। एक सवाल जवाब, एक इंटेलेक्चुअल एक्सरसाइज हो रहा था। मैं आज भी कह रहा हूं कि जब जजमेंट आ जाएगा आप दोबारा मुझे बुला दीजिए, आप जो बात अगर कहीं सच है तो फिर आप बुला लीजिए। सुप्रीम कोर्ट एक सवाल किया जजेस ने, अगर आप उसको उस सवाल इंटेलेक्चुअल एक्सरसाइज को अगर आप ऑब्जर्वेशन बोलेंगे, ऑब्जर्वेशन को जजमेंट बोलेंगे, तो मैडम ये बिल्कुल गलत है।
अगर उनको नहीं लगता कि ये
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने सवाल किया और सवाल के
पर अगर उनको लगता कि ये प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट को वायलेट कर रहा है तो उस पर रोक लगा देते, वो सर्वे पे रोक लगा देते। उन्होंने सर्वे को नहीं रोका, सर्वे चल रहा है।
तो सुनिए, नहीं सर्वे देखिए, इसीलिए तो उस सर्वे कमिश्नर को हटा दिया गया क्योंकि उसने रिपोर्ट लीक की। इसीलिए कोर्ट ने उस केस को ट्रांसफर कर दिया क्योंकि लोअर कोर्ट के जज साहब ने बगैर मुसलमानों को सुने एक ऑर्डर एक तरफा पास कर दिया। हम प्रधानमंत्री से अपील कर रहे हैं कि देश के अमन को बरकरार रखिए। आज प्रधानमंत्री ने बड़ा स्टेटमेंट दिया कि रीजनल पार्टीज, लैंग्वेज, जबान, प्रधानमंत्री इस मसले पर आप रोक टोक लगाइए जी। ये ठीक नहीं हो रहा है देश में, इसको इनिशियल स्टेज में रोक दीजिए क्योंकि 91 एक्ट पर अमल करना, उसकी हिफाजत करना संवैधानिक जिम्मेदारी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के भी और देश के प्रधानमंत्री पर आयद होती है। शुक्रिया मैडम, बहुत शुक्रिया।
आप अच्छा, ओके, दैट वाज असदुद्दीन ओवैसी, द बिग takeaway, though, of what he said is that he still maintains what was said by Justice Chandrachud in the places, about the Places of Worship Act, is an observation. It is not an order. It was an order which was also given in the Mathura Eidgah case yesterday. He says it is bad in law. It will be challenged in a higher court. And finally, asking the Prime Minister to step in, because Muslims of the country now feel that this is going to open a Pandora's box. Taking